Join me as you and I and you take a journey to become better writers together and geek out.
Hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite, Written Writ Ralph, talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ. And today we have our friends Dylan and Lane and Naseed Gifted, and we're talking about both their Kickstarters, which are amazing, and you guys need to check these books out. And I see Nat is already putting himself in the chat.
What do you mean? That's not me.
My favorite stream. The Izzyverse. Come on, Nat. Oh my God.
What do you mean, man?
I see we're gonna have some fun today.
Listen, whatever Nathan Boo down there is saying, he's right. Izzyverse is a way better stream.
Well, that's why me and Izzy are heading off to Terrificon this Friday to go check out the place and see what's going on. See, there you go.
Magical.
Course,
like
haven't checked out
communication.
Terrificon and Mohegan Sun, you really should, because Terrificon is a blast, and it's a Mohegan Sun, people. You got yourself some casino, you got yourself some con. It's a nice little meld, and dude, the area up there is beautiful. And I'm not sure if you guys have been to Terrificon. Either one of you?
No, we haven't. I've been to Mohegan Sun though many times. Have you been to Pepe's Pizza?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mohegan is a blast. So imagine this: all the beautiful stuff of Mohegan and a con.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Does Terrificon have any kind of like focus, or is it just?
No. It's
pretty broad.
Yeah, it's a regular Comic-Con. So you know everything's in there. Yeah. You know they got stars, comics, guests, comic people guests.
Anime, toys, cards.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You can actually go get if you're a big comic collector, you can go and find a lot of the big comic guys and get your book signed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They usually got some of the bigger names in there from comics. They also have some pretty good stars there too.
Anybody looking forward to? You said it was this weekend, or?
Yes, this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Shadow because I haven't seen him in a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
when are you heading out?
He's tabling at Terrificon. He's tabling with Ace at Terrificon. So you have Ace and Shadow Rabbit at the same table doing their thing. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. You guys know Shadow Rabbit. He's the guy that does the figures. He's usually the guy who's here with us, hanging out, doing the show. And Ace is animation, comics, entertainment. They do their beautiful werewolf book. And they got a couple of other books, too. And they do really well with their stuff.
Nice.
Cool. Now that we heard about all that stuff, let's introduce you guys so we can get an idea of who you are, what you do, all the good stuff. So Dylan, Lane, you guys start first.
All right. Well, First I want to clarify our names. I put in there in the opposite direction of how we're sitting. So I'm Lane.
I'm Dylan.
And we write Starside, the sci-fi fantasy comic series, now on Kickstarter.
Very good.
I want to give a big shout out to Jordan, our artist, who
of course
is not here. But
yes, only because he doesn't live with us. Only.
Well, next time just tell me and I'll send him the link. If you can show up, yeah.
Well, like a typical artist, I think he prefers to
stay in the shadows,
not talk to people.
I'm always amazed when the artists show up on the show. So
it's pretty uncommon.
Oh, you're not kidding. Usually, it's the artist is doing everything that show up to the show. The ones that are writing and doing the art, they show up. They talk about their.
They must.
I feel like they do it because they have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Naseed, go ahead and tell the people who you are. Give them the spiel. Go for it.
Well, Peace, everybody. My name is Naseed Gifted. I am a writer, creative director of PBS Media, and just released Jazen, The Rose That Grew from the Concrete, a striking Afrofuturism graphic novel, just now launching on Kickstarter. Prepared to be captivated by an immersed journey of social justice, raw emotion, and equitable future as we announce the highly anticipated launch of an Afrofuturism graphic novel, Jazen, The Rose That Grew from the Concrete, now available on Kickstarter.
I feel like you're playing with something here because I keep hearing a tree grows in Brooklyn, so I feel like you're going to that classic style, that rose that grew from the concrete. I feel like you're reaching somewhere here.
I mean, definitely. We just try to be really innovative with some of the stuff that we're doing. We wanted to tell a dynamic story, try some things. We, shout out to. I'll make sure, just like you guys did, shout out to my artists, Abel, Maniola, Martinez, editor in chief. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Shamika Mitchell. And Natasha Dyer, all these individuals who are part of this project to make it, what it is. But we wanted to infuse poetry. We wanted to do a dynamic story and do a number of things with this particular project, and and just try to make it groundbreaking.
It sounds like that. Like I said, I felt it in the name. I'm like, yeah, we're working on something here. And I'm happy that you both mentioned your team because and I like to bring it up here a lot, especially because I feel like the comic fans out there, when they think comics, they might think two things: writer, artist, and that's it. And that's all they think about when they think in comics. But we all know that it takes a village to make a comic.
Oh yes, definitely.
And without the letterers and the colorists and all the other beautiful people that make comics what they are, it would be a really interesting comic to make.
It can be tough. I mean, Jordan does he does all the lettering, he does the bubbles, he does the design of the covers and the logo and Kickstarter rewards. So it sure is hard when you don't have a bigger team.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and I've seen Kickstarters that have that like I said, sometimes we get the artists who do the art writing and the art.
Yeah.
And it always amazes me when they're also doing everything else on the book. And I'm like, how did you find time to get this done? Because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Teamwork make the dream work. That's all I have to say.
And I know a lot of people, especially because, us writers get like a raw end of the stick sometimes. And people go, oh, you're just writing the book. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? You're just writing. I'm like, okay, you make it sound like, you did that thing where you put stuff on paper and then all of a sudden you got a story. And I'm like, I don't think it works that way.
Like it's so easy. If only it were that easy.
And then the same people are going, Ralph, how do you write? I'm like, and then then they go like this because they think I'm being an asshole because I go, you write, and they go, oh, you're gate holding or whatever you want to call it. Why don't you just share your secrets? I'm telling you the secret. Just write the freaking book, write.
That is the hardest part. Just get started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know you guys know this, but again, like I said, there's a lot of times I know we all get this. We get people who ask us stuff, and it's funny because it's hard to tell people that if you don't write that first book or you don't write that first word, if you don't write that first thing, you don't know what you can do or what you can't do. It's the same thing with doing our YouTube shows or our podcast. If you don't make that first show, you don't know what you're doing right. You don't know what you're doing wrong. You won't know until you do that first thing that you need to do. That way you can see what needs to be fixed or what's working or what's not working. Let me ask you guys. I know you guys get this a lot, because people always asking, how do you get into writing? What would you say?
I mean, what you just said couldn't be more true and is such a lesson learned too that I feel like, we've said it so many times because it was what we didn't do, which is to don't make your first project be a huge epic that is like your baby. You get started with something small, practice, get yourself out there. Because you have to, when we look back at Starside issue 1, there's a lot that we would do differently. And just like, looking at the scripts we're writing now and the other projects that we're working on now, we feel just so much more life coming from these scripts now, because it's everything that we've learned over the past bunch of years that we've been working on Starside. And definitely, like, you have to just start doing it and start learning what works for you and what doesn't work for you, what you like doing, what you don't like doing, and make something and then look back on it and think about what you would do differently so that you can take that going forward. But you're never going to, you're never going to make anything perfect, but your first thing's not going to be your most proud thing, most likely. So just get going and you'll only get better. Right?
Yeah, for us, it's writers write, right? So just to break it, writers got to write. So one of the things that, and my first project, it was my baby, and I, kept holding on to it, and, just not ready to birth it to the world. But one of the things that I did learn, along the process, because it is a process, is that, everyone here pretty much has a smartphone, and every so often they get what we call an update, and that's based on the feedback that you got from the program. So the actual phone does 99.9% of what it was supposed to do, but based on the feedback, then they work out some of the bugs and kind of push that forward. So being able to take that information and be able to push it forward. So that's what I kind of did with my writing process. And I met this best-selling author, a little brother, Cory Doctorow, and one of the things the biggest piece of advice that he gave me as far as writing is write at least 1 page a day. If you could write at least 1 page a day, when we talk about writer's block and and all of these obstacles and challenges, at the end of a year, you will have a 365-page book. Right. And just kind of just looking at the math. So looking at comics, looking at graphic novels and everything. So if we talk about a general serial, we talk about 24 pages, right? So if you're writing a page a day, you can have a comic done at the end of the month. So you would have that. Of course, you would edit it. If you wanted a longer piece or whatever, of course, you would keep doing that. But if you could discipline yourself to write at least 1 page a day, of course, as you're moving forward with the story, you're going to edit and everything, and just freestyle. Just make sure you meet your goal, and then edit on, as you go back and look at the project.
I'm happy you both said that, because I feel like you hit notes that was going to hit out there, because. And it's funny that I was actually talking about this today with somebody, and I feel like that people are looking for perfection when they do what they're doing, and you're like, no, just do it. You can figure it out as you go. There's always time to come back or do something different, but you need to do it. That's just how it is. You can't go anywhere if you don't start that journey. If you don't take those first steps. You're just going to sit there wherever you are and go, I wish and I hope and my project. And it's funny that you both actually started with your passion project. And that's one of the most difficult things to do, because it's a passion project. It's like you guys said, it's this thing. It's this dragon that you guys need to slay. You guys were able to slay it.
I still have to slay it every time we go to sit down to write, because it is just like a struggle to get in that mindset. And I too get kind of tripped up on my own in my own head on I kind of just want this to be as good as it can be, but I've been getting better at just saying, hey, we're just gonna write this scene, it's awful, but we're gonna write it out, and then we're gonna make it better later. And sometimes you know exactly, you have a page in your head, or what you think could be a page, and so you capitalize on that, even if it's later on in the issue, and you write it and you just kind of have it there, so you're like, all right, I made progress.
Completely. Yeah. And it's just amazing to watch the process, to see the journey. And it's a journey of writing. It's a journey of everything's a journey. You just need to be able to take that first step to move forward, to do what you need to do, and to get it done.
I think it's cool that everybody's journey is unique. Nobody, I don't think anybody writes the same way as anybody else. And I think if you try to, you're probably going to make more errors than if you just kind of went the way you feel like you naturally would do it. And
you got to find your own flow and be okay with that.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of, it's good energy in a way, but like, I think some people that might be in their own heads, like myself, it is a little damaging. But like when you see those like, Instagram posts where it's like, if you're not breathing your craft and you're not doing this thing every single day, just like you shouldn't be doing it. I think that's like really harmful. I think you're allowed to take breaks. I think you're allowed to absorb yourself in something else, because when you're a writer, you need to know everything else about your world. You know what I mean? It's not just writing your story. It's take a break and, I don't know, read a encyclopedia and just learn stuff. You know what I mean? Just live your life. You'll pick up things that you're like, oh, I can actually use this exact idea, or I can use this, moment that I just encountered. I can spin this and put a little sci-fi element on that. Like, and that's the story. You know what I mean? Like, I think, to not hold yourself to a high standard and understand, like, you can take some breaks, you can go down a different route, but as long as you kind of
come back to it and you know.
Yeah, I completely get it. A while back on TikTok, I had somebody ask me about writing, asking me the question of, because I was saying write what you know. And then I was explaining to them that it doesn't mean that you just write what you know. It also means that you write what you've learned. You write what you've researched, because writing is researching. We all know this as writers. We research the hell out of everything. If anybody were to look at my computer, I'd be in jail right now. and it's funny. So I was telling, and then they came back and they asked me another question saying, how do you write what you don't know? And I'm like, well, that's kind of difficult, because even when you're writing what you don't know, you're writing what you know. So I gave them the whole idea of, okay, so you're writing about fishing, right? So you don't really know about fishing, and you write what you know about fishing. You're writing what you know. And
you chuck the sword into the water, you pull it up a catfish, turns out it's a giant gorgon that was swallowing it.
Yeah. So you're writing whatever you know about fishing, you're writing it down. If it'll probably be a better piece if you actually do the research and figure out what fishing is. But you can get away with that, because it all depends on what you're writing. If it's a story about something else and the characters are just fishing, they could be novices too, so that works out. But that's the whole concept, is that we're constantly, because I feel like a lot of writers like to tell you write what you know, and then everybody stays with that idea of, oh, so I can't write anything else. I'm like, no, you learn stuff. You're constantly learning stuff. You're researching stuff. As soon as you understand what you're researching, you can write that. I know, Naseed, that you work with the schools. I know you have to get some of this.
No, definitely. I mean, this story is about in colleges, research in colleges. I had to tap into my aunt, who was a 30-year registered nurse, as well as individuals who were, past cancer patients and everything else, to kind of get that insight, to be able to add more depth and layers into the storyline. That was something that, did on purpose. That was intentional to be able to do that. I mean, those are the things that you need to kind of go through. And when we talk about the process, that's a part of the process and everything. So some of those days that I was talking about writing, I was doing that research and adding that, adding those layers into it and asking questions, because some of the stuff I didn't know. I'm in the technology fields, and I was an engineer by trade, but I don't know everything. I did electrical engineering and everything. So that's something new for me, and I wanted to be very thorough in what we talked about and who we talked about within the storyline.
Did you find that doing that research, I guess for both of you, when you research, do you ever find that you learn something that then gives you an idea that, you know, you didn't even realize could be part of your story. And then now you've got this, like, you know, new inspiration, or like, oh, that'd be great in this scene or something.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I always see. I call them the jewels, the gems that you find. You know, there's those are little pieces of buried treasure that you add into the story, and then also embed a little breadcrumb as you go back and when you're doing your edits and everything, some stuff that you researched and you want to kind of build on and everything. Um, Sometimes I have to balance. So I'm an educator by day, so I try to make sure that I'm not trying to be too teachy and try to make sure that I also tell a dynamic story at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because sometimes you know, people talk about writer's block. I feel like the research alone sometimes can open up your brain on what you're working on at the moment, because you're researching whatever it is involved with what you're doing, and that sometimes, like you're saying, pulls threads. You know, you're like, oh wait, I didn't think of that. You know, so now all of a sudden you don't have the writer's block because you got this direction that you need to go to. You got to figure out how to put this into the story now.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you're staying curious, whether you're taking a break from writing and researching, but just like keeping an open mind about the world and taking in anything around you and just asking questions. Or if you're doing that research and, yeah, letting yourself go down those rabbit holes of information, because you never know what you're going to find that's going to spark an idea.
Definitely.
So that's the most fun part.
Oh, definitely. You know, it's funny, you know, because I've been using D&D to explain writing, you know, because I find that it makes it easier to, especially if people do know D&D and they played it, it makes it easier to explain the writing process, because you know you go from, well, you're creating your character, you know, to you're creating the world, but you're playing in somebody else's sandbox, to you're the DM that creates the world, you know, and now you're using all that you've learned to put it out there. And that actually shows the writing process as it grows, you know. And at the same time, you know, when you're pulling things from different places, the research and all this and that, you know, we all know that it all comes into play, in other words.
Yeah.
So now that we had a little writing talk, all right, Dylan and Lane, I want to start with you guys. Explain to the audience out there, what is Starside? Give them all the beautiful stuff.
You want to go for it? You want me to?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Right.
So,
you know our story.
It's true. I always like blank. Oh, sorry. I always blank at the pitch sometimes. So it's about our main character, Jack. He's just going about his normal day when aliens invade Earth and they start taking people prisoners. And so Jack gets brought deeper into the universe where there's an intergalactic war. It's been going on for centuries. And Earth has been kept isolated from this war. And so as Jack is trying to journey back home, he starts to uncover little mysteries about why Earth was isolated from the war, and potentially uncovering the sort of origins of humanity and our purpose.
Yes. And so that is the overall Starside story.
Yep.
And so right now it's just Jack is trying to get home. You know, he got ripped away from Earth and taken to this universe that we never knew existed, with all these different planets and societies and people who, you know, aliens, the hot topic of the day. They're out there. and so he, you know, I feel like it's a natural reaction to just want to get back home and back where it's familiar and find your family and you know, go from there. Even if your life is going to be completely different here on out, you just got to start where you're familiar. And unfortunately for him, no one seems to know where he came from. So it's a struggle. And so in issue 6, which is where we are right now, he and another character named Riggs, who he met along the way and who's kind of a reluctant helper, they've been kidnapped, actually, because they are of value to the scary aliens who invaded Earth. And this shady guy heard that they were of value, and so he snatched them up and locked them away. And so now in this issue, they are trying to figure out how to escape. So yeah.
That sounds epic already.
Thank you.
So I'm getting the feeling that you guys are going to be in this for a while. So how long is the story you guys are crafting?
We're not sure. We do have an end in mind, but it is going to be an ongoing story. The first volume is going to be 7 issues. So we're on issue 6 now. We're going to release issue 7. It's actually where we've been working on it with Jordan already. The script is finished. We're doing thumbnails. So we'll be launching that Kickstarter probably early next year, at some point next year for sure. And then once issue 7's out, we'll do the trade paperback of the first story arc. And then, we'll see from there. We're working on a couple of other projects at the same time that are not Starside related. And so, we'll see where those take us, but we'll definitely, we'll always come back to Starside. It's extremely important.
The baby.
It's our baby. Exactly. But yeah, we're not sure how many volumes it's going to be, how many issues. We have an end in mind, and it's definitely from when we first started writing it to now, it's become a little more compressed in a good way, I think.
I'd say focus.
Yeah, focus is definitely a better word. So it probably, it's not going to be like infinite. But amount TBD.
Let me ask you this, because I know it's a running series. You guys have been doing it before Kickstarter. You guys have been working it on your own. Do you find that the Kickstarter helps you do that, or is it just easier to do it the way you guys have been doing it this whole time?
Oh wow.
Well, so I think we like Kickstarter to just kind of help get the story out there.
To distribute you.
If we just kind of stuck to what we were doing, we would, just
no one will be reading.
Yeah, as far the only people that would know about it are those at CSI conventions, our families, and then whoever picks up our book at the local store that we're in.
Right.
That's it. So Kickstarter gives us a chance to be able to, be in the West Coast, be in Europe, and that's super cool. And there are some people that are just they back everyone, and that's it. But then there's some people that are a little bit more passionate than others, and will kind of give us their feedback after the campaign ends and we get the book. So we just like that. Of course, it's great to not have to fund the production of this book out of pocket.
That's a big help.
Yeah. But most importantly, it's for the reach.
Yeah, and just being able to connect it with an audience and connect us with the audience and meet new readers virtually. It's definitely, to be quite transparent, it's not our favorite part of the process. It is a ton of work.
It is.
It is very time consuming and really stressful, especially marketing the Kickstarter. And out of the 3 of us, me, Dylan, and Jordan, none of us are very good at or interested in marketing.
There's a reason we're writers.
We're writers and artists.
Not business people.
We're not.
That's...
So it's very it takes a lot of effort and energy, but in the end, it's worth it. We're just glad people are able to read it and are liking reading it.
I gotta admit, I've heard a couple people say that one of the best places to show off your book and get people interested is the conventions, because you actually get a chance to see the people. But you're right, it kind of limits you, because then you have to hit as many conventions as you can. This kind of helps you out a little bit.
Yeah, we did our first 3 years doing this. We we found any convention we can get to, and we went there, and
Yeah, we saw you a lot.
Right.
And it's funny though, because I feel like like you said, the combination of Kickstarter and con kind of helps you out, because it also brings it to new eyes, and then people get a chance to see you at the conventions once they're coming to this convention. I supported the book, so now they look forward to seeing you in person, because they supported the book online. I feel like it's a great balance.
Yeah, definitely. And at least for us, nothing beats talking to people about the book at conventions, especially when you have that beautiful moment of someone coming on the first day, getting the book, reading it that night, coming back the second day and saying, hey, I loved reading this. You know, when's the next one?
Exactly.
It feels so good.
When's the next one? Because that's what people want to know.
Oh, well,
your guess is as good as us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny with independent series, and we've had a couple of guests come on and say the same thing. It's like, you know, we're working on it. We're trying to get it to you as fast as we can. You know, that's why we got it on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I quit my job tomorrow and
just to
focus
write
on this,
yeah,
things would be different.
that would be great. But
that's the dream, though. We want to get to that point where we're at that point and going, okay, we just hit the conventions and we sell the book.
Yeah, love that.
You know, that's the dream. Let's see. You guys are at nice year, 1997.
Yeah.
135 backers, 21 days to go. Oh, because you guys got a lot of time to go here. So we can get you guys higher. You know, you're about to what are you? Quadruple your money. Okay. That's not bad.
Well, you know, yeah, we luckily learned early on, because of a great community of indie comic creators online who we asked a lot of questions of, particularly I think Mike Shea, who does Miskatonic High. If you're on Kickstarter a lot, you're probably familiar with Miskatonic High. He is such a good help and resource, and was a huge help to us when we ran our first Kickstarter. And he said, you know, set that goal low, because you want to reach the goal, and then, you know, it's all just, you know, additional readers from there. And so that was something that we really took to heart and has helped us a lot, because the most important thing to us is just, even if 20 people back it, you know, we want to get it to those 20 people. And that's, you know,
it makes sense, you know, and it kind of helps you out, because now it's a sure thing, instead of
exactly,
it might happen, you know. I guess you know you're there already, but at the same time, it's kind of you know, and I like to tell this to people, because, you know, people think, oh, Kickstarter, they're making money, they're rich, and a bunch of other stuff. That is not true. You know, most creators will lower the bar. You know, they need more money than they're saying, because they're lowering the bar to make sure that it gets into your hands. You know, so the more we can get you guys more money, the better it is. And I tell people all the time, nobody's making money off of Kickstarter. Everybody's putting the money right back into the books that you're getting.
Exactly right. Yeah. We've done one campaign where we ultimately lost money on it because we try it. It feels so cruddy to have to charge people so much for shipping, but shipping costs so much money.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So we're getting better at, you know, not going into debt on it.
But we also did a commission that Kickstarter.
That's true.
And
that's true.
That was like a lot of money,
yeah.
and I think we might have made that commission like a stretch goal. I forget which one it was.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it was never going to hit. We were babies. So.
Every campaign is a learning experience.
It is completely. We've learned a lot of stuff here just having you guys on the show, because you know, we get to hear all this information on Kickstarter, and what I like is we get to spread it to the audience, because sometimes I feel like the audience doesn't know what's happening, and they have these preconceived notions that kind of hurt the community. Because, you know, they need to at least understand what's going on. You know, I know a lot of people think, oh, Kickstarter, they made money. Oh my God, look how much money they made. And I'm like, no, hold on.
It's all the cover of the thing. Yeah.
You know how much money it takes to put this book, to make the book, to put it out there, to send it.
Exactly.
Oh man. So Naseed, I know you've done a couple of Kickstarters yourself, and
yes.
Here we are doing a brand new Kickstarter for your brand new book, which is Jazen, of the rose that grew from concrete. And like I said, I feel like already you're setting something up here with that name, because it just it feels bigger. You know, so tell the people. We'll start off with tell the people everything that they need to know about Jazen and what's going on.
Well, of course, this is a project that's done by our creative team at PBS Media Studios. So Jazen arose that group from the concrete explores a gripping story of a researcher oncologist, Jazen Scott, who makes a groundbreaking discovery in the quest for the cure for cancer. However, she's quickly plunges into a world of turmoil where she learns herself. She finds herself handcuffed to a hospital bed, teetering the edge of death. Authority, authorities relentlessly pursue her, seeking answers about a tragic shootout that claimed the life of an anti-terrorism squad member on the Renaissance City Turnpike. This is all a part of how this intoxicating narrative unfolds, and then readers get engrossed into an extraordinary tale of how Jazen's struggle of survival intertwined with the price of humanity must pay for life-saving cure. It's a graphic novel that seamlessly blends science fiction, social justice, and Afrofuturism, pushing the boundaries and challenges the readers to envision a more inclusive and equitable tomorrow. This is pretty much the setting that we try to set with Jazen. Jazen is actually an extension of the PB Soldiers series. We actually had a whole another plan for Jazen, but because of the popularity of the character, we actually, kind of pretty much sped up her launch. We were actually looking to do 3 volumes of PB Soldier first, and then kind of do the spinoff of the subset of characters. But being that when we went to the conventions and everyone was like, man, we want to see, Jazen's story, we kind of came out with this next project, which is Jazen the Rose that grew from concrete, man. And we just looking to create this whole immersive Afrofuturism experience with it. So a lot of what you see within the Kickstarter kind of speaks to that. Just kind of create this unique experience that goes a little bit beyond the actual Kickstarter.
Wow. I feel like there's a lot going on here. I saw the poetry. What made you kind of meld this into something else?
Well, one of the things that it's the depth of the character.
Right.
When we see her journey, and when people go through traumatic events, they have to have outlets. And this poetry was one of her outlets to be able to navigate through those situations. So we kind of infused that throughout the story.
I gotta admit, one of the ways that I do release the demons, as I call them, is through poetry. So I completely get where this is coming from, and it makes complete sense to me, because it is one of those outlets that a lot of people use.
Mm-hmm.
And then poetry.
And we wanted to try something different, like with the graphic novel and everything. Wanted to kind of just, we look at it as the one thing I love about the comic book and graphic novel media is that it is one of those untainted formats that, even though they had censorship, throughout history, nowadays you can kind of infuse any and everything as long as you kind of let people know that, like this is for, teenagers or adults or whatever the case may be. And then just try to let your creativity run wild.
Oh, definitely. And we're in an age now where doing this is so much easier than it was when, at least when I was growing up, because then back then a whole bunch of people had to go and start Image.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the way they got it.
There.
Oh man, it just looks really different, and that's a good thing that I'm saying, because it really feels like you're trying to like buck the envelope to do something and take comics into a newer or different place, I should say.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I actually had some, experiences myself that kind of made me want to kind of step into this realm where just taking art to another level, and just kind of make it a whole immersive experience. And that's what we're looking to do with this project.
And I gotta say that, the art looks really beautiful in this. Yeah, it doesn't look like your usual comic book type of thing. And I feel like one of the reasons I liked having both of you on the show is because both your styles for this comic book isn't the norm for the comic book you guys are doing. You know, Starside looks completely beautiful. It's this style of art that actually makes the book even better. And at the same time, as I'm looking at Jazen here, you can tell that you're doing something to shake things up. You know, and that's good, because I feel like everybody keeps doing the same thing over and over.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, and we're at that point now where we should be experimenting. We should be going out there and going, okay, folks, what do you think about this? What do you think? If any medium has left itself open to do this, it is this whole Kickstarter thing, because now you're going to get the support from the people that want the book, and they're going to support it to make it happen.
Yeah, I always find myself drawn. I mean, I think that's completely the typical thing, is when you're looking for a new comic book or graphic novel, your eyes are drawn to the art first and foremost, and before you even know what the story's about. And I am always drawn to the ones that have a unique style of art or a unique, take and ambition. And I think it's the most fun, just experiment. And
it is completely, and it gives you a chance to see things that you don't usually see, or to see art styles that you don't usually see, or to see books that you don't usually see. You know, comic books for a long time was just superheroes for a long time, and then I feel like now the indie scene has you going in so many different directions. They still do superheroes, but you got a lot of horror, a lot of sci-fi, a lot of, it's different now. It gives you a chance to see other things. Especially because the big two don't like to shake they don't like to shake it too much.
Right.
They're like, we're gonna keep doing superheroes.
Or if they do,
let them
go
for it.
Or if they do want to shake it up, it's on their terms. Like
exactly.
They know.
Speaking of which,
did you write the poetry that's in the book as well?
Yes.
Wow.
We got a poet.
Multi-talented, yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I did. It's funny because it was actually something I used to do when I was in college, and just kind of, just put it to the wayside and stuff. But every once in a while I will put something together. But I kind of dusted off some of these old poems and kind of infused it into the story of the journey and everything. So, and just kind of incorporated that, and putting on that different hat, that different lens of how this whole emotional journey will affect someone on this level. So,
and it's funny that you said that, because it goes back to like the whole writing process. I know that people out there are going, oh, okay, but you don't understand. Sometimes you may start with something over here. Starts over here. But you don't use it over here. You use it over here. And as writers, we all know that a character may show up somewhere where they weren't in the first place. Poetry may show up somewhere where it wasn't in the first place. You create a story and you go, wait, no, it fits better over here. And that's the whole thing. That's why you should be writing, because you don't know what's gonna go where until it goes there.
Yeah. Gotta get it down, then you can mix it around. And...
Exactly. That's the fun of it. That's the fun of that creation process. Let's see. Here we got Jazen is at 3,848, 45 backers, 10 days to go. So we got a little time to get you up to 11,000, because that's where you're trying to go.
Yeah. Yes. And like I said, we're looking to do a little bit more than what we're doing exactly with the book. That's why we had these, stretch goals and everything. And I know you guys were saying this earlier with regards to, making sure you hit the goals and everything. We just kind of hitting the tip of the iceberg. With Kickstarter, it's a 6-week campaign before the Kickstarter even starts, so you gotta be out there. And just kind of pushing and making, But the one good thing about a Kickstarter is that you get more recognition, brand awareness,
Yeah.
because you actually launched a particular project and get more eyes on what you're doing versus with the algorithms, on your social media platforms and everything, which
Definitely.
kind of limits you. This is something that lies outside of that.
I like to say that no Kickstarter fails even if it doesn't reach its goal, because it gets eyes on the project.
Right.
Which means that the next time you're going to do something, you already have those original eyes on the project. And I'm also happy that you said that, Naseed, because we like to tell people, when you see that notify button, there's no money that you need to put into that. You can actually just go and put it to get notified. That actually helps the project out, because the more people see it before the project comes out, the better in the algorithm the project gets when it starts. So you're actually helping the project out, and you're not wasting or using any money. So if you're looking for a way to help a project, get notified, man. It helps.
Notify and share.
Exactly. Notifying and share. Sharing is caring, folks.
Yeah.
Even right now, if you don't think you can afford to do anything, well, two things. You can always do $1, for whatever project you want to support. It actually helps out because it gets the backers up. Each dollar you put in means that you get another backer that goes up. And again, in the algorithm, this actually helps it because it gets more eyes on it.
Yep.
And then if you can't do that, then you can just put it to share. And dude, I'm telling you now that I've seen people who would never have seen the project unless the person has shared it. And I've heard this before. It's like, oh, my friend hadn't shared it, I would have never seen the project. And he was able to support the project because, he saw it, and because it's important. Dude, the major companies spend so much money on publicity for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get that word of mouth, and we help out all these other companies. We can help out the little guys. Come on, guys. So let's see. Let's see if my computer participates with me, and we'll get a chance to see both videos. We'll see. Here we go.
My name is Jazen Scott, and I'm a research oncologist. I've dedicated my life to finding a cure for cancer, and my team and I have made a breakthrough. But before we could bring the cure to the public, tragedy struck.
I'll forever be. Watch you take my blood from me. Y'all beat my bro illegally in front of his home, his mom.
There was a shootout, and an anti-terrorism squad trooper lost their life. I was close to death when they brought me in for questioning. I was accused of being involved. They wanted information about the shootout, but what they didn't realize was that the cure for cancer costs more than you could imagine. We discovered that the cure was expensive to make, and big pharmaceutical companies would try to charge outrageous prices for it. We wanted to get the cure to the people who needed it without them having to choose between their lives and finances.
shade of gray as they silence. Smile in your face, turn around and playing balance. You killed our brother, didn't you? Didn't you?
This Kickstarter campaign is more than just to raise funds for the graphic novel. It's to build an Afrofuturism experience that includes poems that infuse the story with raw emotion, grappling with the bigger picture of social justice, and pushing us to imagine a more equitable future. Thank you for helping to make this dream a reality.
Be a part of the journey and help bring Jazen's story to life in the graphic novel, Jazen, The Rose That Grew from the Concrete, Part 1. I remember I was starving, don't know how to let go, but I let go.
Good job with the video, man. Woo!
Thank you, man. I got to give a big shout out to Gary Michael Houston, who put that video together for me, man. He took my vision and took it to a whole nother level. I said, man, I was so excited when I saw the video and everything.
I
And
can
then
see why.
Niche, who was voiceover work for Jazen, man, she did a phenomenal job, which is going to be kind of tied into this whole experience that we're creating as well. So, just excited about the project and trying to, get more eyes, more awareness about, what's going on and everything.
Dude, it looks great. The video was fantastic. It really brings it home, and it kind of does your work for you. It really does show what you're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it was. I mean, as you can see, I wasn't in the video. Usually, all my Kickstarters, I was in the video and everything.
That's true.
I'm not in the video. That's not what I'm. Not what this story is about. I wanted to, just make it to be a part of this particular story and focus in on that. Good storytelling, good writing, good artwork, and just show the marriage, of how the poetry and everything kind of gets infused into that, to make this thing something real and groundbreaking.
Oh, good work, bro. Good work.
Thank you.
I know you just finished coming back from San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
This weekend. I'm guessing there was a lot of talk about this over there.
As far as the Kickstarter, I'm sorry, I thought you were going to say something else.
Well, I hope so.
Yes,
that was a perfect platform to show this off.
Oh, no, definitely. We got a really good reception, with regards to it. We kind of created this whole platform of like just being Black at Comic-Con and everything, and then it was a number of panels, number of vendors, different experiences that were going on. So we kind of created a whole green book to go along with it. And I was on a couple of panels, one being Afrofuturism, STEM, space, and Afrofuturism, where, just kind of be able to do the unveiling of the particular project and everything, and got, more eyes, more attraction, kind of doing it and seeing the project and everything. So super excited about that. Just trying to make sure that momentum carries over, as we get into these last 10 days of the project.
And those conventions, like we said before, those conventions do help out, especially I find it's a weird thing when it comes to conventions and Kickstarters, because people want what they want there at the convention. You know, if they're doing something, they want to get something. You know, but I feel like it's such a great place to be if you're doing a Kickstarter, because it gets more eyes on that Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see what this next video looks like.
I'm embarrassed.
Not nearly as cool. We are dorks.
Dude, I gotta say, you know, I really enjoyed this video.
Thanks.
I'm gonna let people watch it, because I was like, okay, I love this. This is funny. All right, here we go.
Hello, my name is Dylan. I'm one of the writers of Starside, and on behalf of the whole team, I'd like to welcome potential backers and returning backers to the Starside #6 Kickstarter campaign. So some of you guys are probably wondering, what's this comic about? Starside is about a 16-year-old named Jack who's taken away from Earth during an alien invasion, and his journey to get back home. In issue 6, we find him and a reluctant helper named Riggs trapped in a storage closet by the Shady or Zima Tech Work Company. And that's why I decided to film this video in my closet, to sort of mimic the cramped quarters that our characters are in for the duration of this issue. Yeah, so I think we're going to talk about the Kickstarter rewards we have to offer. And
Hey, Dylan, what are you doing?
Hi, I'm recording the Kickstarter video.
In the closet?
Yeah.
I'll take it from here. My name is Klein. I am the other co-writer of Starside, and I'll talk to you about the rewards that we're offering this campaign. So first is, of course, Starside issue 6. Dylan already told you what that's all about, but I'll just add that it's available both digitally and physically. So whatever is most accessible to you, or however you like to read your comics, we've got that. Our digital version is a PDF, and the physical copy is, of course, just a full color 25-page comic that you can hold in your hand. We really love the cover for this issue. Every time we make a cover, we want to capture the essence of the issue, a theme of some kind, and we think we really nailed it this time, and Jordan did a great job with the art, with our MC Escher inspired cover that shows our 3 cellmates. And something that we really love about this cover is that you can enjoy it from any angle, and that's why our first reward, besides the comic itself, is a print of this cover without the Starside logo, so that you can display that beautiful art at any angle. You can have it with Jack right side up, or Riggs right side up, or nobody right side up. And it looks cool no matter how you look at it. And that's going to be a 7.5 by 10 inch print, which is this size. There's my head for scale. This is a print from a previous Kickstarter that was the same size, and that's available as an add-on if you want to do that. We have tons of add-ons. I won't go into those in this video, but yeah, so the cover print is 7.5 by 10 inches. Really love this one. I'm looking forward to getting that to you. On the topic of covers, another reward that we're offering is, of course, a variant cover for the issue. Again, love this cover. We think Jordan outdid himself. Our variant cover for issue 6 is the next in the series of character portraits that we've been doing since issue 1. Our very galactic and nebula inspired, beautiful portraits of our characters. And this time we are showing off the hooded stranger who was introduced at the very end of issue 5, and who Jack and Riggs will sort of get to know in issue 6, or rather have to try to cooperate with in issue 6. Really excited about
this variant cover that you can get with the Astrophile tier. The last reward I want to tell you about is the patch, of course. We started doing patches a few Kickstarters ago. These are in-universe patches that our character Riggs wears on his sleeve from businesses that he frequents. We had Codera Transport Services was one of them. That was this patch from a previous campaign. And we had the Tacto Shipwrights patch. And the patch for this campaign is from Yipshri's Tool Bazaar, which was Riggs's parents' go-to store for any tools and odds and ends that they needed when they were refurbishing the Novo from a hunk of junk to the beautiful ship that Riggs flies today. We also have tons of add-ons this campaign. You can get rewards that were offered in previous campaigns. A lot of those are limited quantities, so if you're interested in something, make sure you jump on that. And we go into detail about those in the add-on section of the campaign, of course, which you are likely familiar with. If you have any questions about the rewards or how to mix and match to create the collection that you want to have, please feel free to reach out. You can message us, comment on the campaign. We're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you guys so much for checking out this campaign. We hope you like the rewards we have in store. We hope you really enjoy the issue. And thanks again for even watching this video.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping by. We hope you guys enjoy it.
Enjoy Starside. Bye.
I just love the geekiness of it. It really talks to my geek soul, and I love the whole he's in the closet. What are you doing in there?
Thank you.
I was like, okay, this works. And I gotta say that you, instead of what usually happens with the video is like, oh, this is the project, and then they walk off. You guys actually talked about the things that you're doing with the project, or all the beautiful bits and pieces of the project. Because sometimes you end up having to read all that stuff. And then a lot of that stuff gets lost in translation. I feel like you guys actually go, well, guys, pay attention. Look at this. And it's I know it's probably done a couple times, but I feel like it's not done enough.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, because I feel like I after we finished the video, I got a little worried, like, we didn't spend any time really talking about our history with the project, or like our, the greater goal of the story or anything like that. But I kind of felt like, well, first of all, we struggle with the video every time. It's I don't know, we find it hard to do. So for this one, I feel like my approach, my thought with it was, the video is for people who don't want to read all the words on the campaign. Exactly. So let's give them like the most important stuff that they're going to want to know in this short video. And that's the reward. So yeah, I hope that most people feel the same way that you do. I hope it's effective.
Dude, there's times where I got to go through all this.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's like really mapped out really easily, and then sometimes you're like, okay, I know what I want. Where is it?
Yeah.
And I think the other part of it comes from Kickstarter point of thing, because I know before it was even more difficult, because if you wanted a certain cover, you'd have to figure it out from the description.
Mm-hmm.
I think they finally added what the cover looks like recently, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was exciting to see they made a lot of changes since we did the last one last year, a reward section, and putting pictures, like you said, for each item and reward, and like a lot of stuff for both the backers and the creators that seem to be huge improvements. So I'm looking forward to using that when we're fulfilling this campaign, and just seeing, I'm glad they're like actually listening to people and making improvements. Yeah.
I hope so, because they don't want people to stop using Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of competition. You got Crowdfunder, Indiegogo. There's so many ways you can go now.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you used Crowdfunder before, either of you?
we've had a couple people on the show that have used crowdfunder. They tend to like it because it's more like crowdfunder tends to be more like pre-ordering the book. So you know, and the money comes out of your, like with Kickstarter, usually what happens is the money comes out at the end of the campaign.
Right.
With crowdfunder, the money comes out automatically. So you're actually pre-ordering the book, or you're buying the book, or you're buying whatever it is that the crowdfunder is doing, and the money comes out right there.
Yeah.
Which is funny because in Kickstarter, I tell people all the time, support, because the money doesn't come out for 30 days.
Right.
Yeah. But it's almost like you put it on layaway. It's like you're putting it on layaway. So it's
like you may not have the money now, but you know you'll have the money later.
Or the other way around, you know, it could be riskier. Maybe you have it now, and 30 days from now. Uh-oh.
But I find that when it comes to that direction, you know now to keep that money there, so you can. I feel like with the other direction is like, okay, the money's gonna show up then. Okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys have beautiful projects. I love what you guys are doing. I feel like it's not the norm that we're used to seeing, and that always excites me because, you know, you want to see the industry grow, the industry change, the industry do other things. You know, like I said, I love myself a good superhero comic book. I love comic books in general. But I want to see the industry become something else, especially with indie creators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting place that we are right now, especially as indies. Like I said, in the freaking 90s, a bunch of people had to get together and form Image.
Right.
Or you have to figure out how to support the thing from your pocket. And that was not an easy job back then. I still remember how Ninja Turtles came to be. Because those guys did it out of their own stuff.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, from what it was originally to what, you know, most people seen in mass media, it transformed drastically.
Oh, man. And I say, folks out there, you want to support these things. You want to support these Kickstarters. You want to support. Dude, there's a bunch of reasons why you should. One of them is if you want to pressure the big two, best way to pressure them is to support things you like. Because then they go, well, they like that stuff. That means we should do it too. Or the fact that this is just good stuff that's out there. You know, you guys keep talking about the fact that you want good stuff. It's right here. Take a risk. Enjoy it. You know,
it's great. Pretty much everything. I don't think we read anything from the big two. Really, everything we read is you know, big indie like Image or self-published from conventions or you know, local shop or Kickstarter, and there's no shortage of phenomenal stories and beautiful art to read from those creators. So
yeah.
Naseed, I did you guys do your convention or is it coming up?
It's coming up. So KimFest is happening September 23rd and 24th in Newark, New Jersey at Cityplex this year.
All right, you keep changing it up.
No. Well, I mean, with a venue, yes, the venue.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I gotta admit, I've enjoyed every single venue because it's always different. And I'm like, okay, what are they gonna do now?
Yeah. I mean, we try to grow, we try to expand. You know, we try to make it. And then, you know, hopefully we'll grow it until we actually have a location where, you know, you could come to each and every year, you know, so that's what we're looking to do, you know, moving forward.
Where can we learn more about that and get tickets or, you know?
Oh, yes. So KimFest is actually at the KimFest website is www.khemfest. That's kimfest.com. KHEMFEST.
And Naseed, keep going down that avenue. Let the people know where they can find you and all the other good stuff. Go for it.
Oh, yes. Naseed Gifted. You can find me on all social media platforms. Generally, I am PB Soldier on all platforms, but now we have converted the name because of the newest project is Jazen the Rose. So Jazen __Rose. So you can see us on that. And then also at PBS Media Studios. So that's PBS Media Studios. You can find us on all of those platforms.
There you have it, folks. Go check them out. And of course,
and then for this particular project, we made the link very, very easy. It's bit.ly/Jazen. So
dude, I've seen this happening
JAZEN.
a lot, and I like this whole little tiny thing instead of what I usually have to put up on the screen. You know, it's like a speech. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
So they are at
bit.ly/Jazen.
Exactly. They are at 3,848, 45 backers, 10 days to go. Come on, folks. We can get up to 11,000. That's not that much. Come on, folks. We can do this. Come on.
We definitely appreciate the support. If you can't support, please share. Somebody else that's in your network and definitely may find some value and everything within all of the projects that we're talking about today.
Definitely.
Not just ours.
Oh, definitely. You know, and again, if you know, the best way to help a project out, if you can't monetarily, is to share the project, just like I'm doing right now in the comment section on the side there, even though it is in the description as well. So go check it out. And now, Starside, start telling them the beautiful things about where they can find you guys.
All right. Well, you can find us, of course, on Kickstarter. And you'll share the link to that one. Thank you. It is not cute and short. We are on all the social media. Well, not all of them. There are more these days. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Starside Comic, StarSideComic. And we also have a website, starsidecomic.com. Yeah, those are the places to find us.
Yeah.
We have an email list on our website too. So if you go on there, you can sign up for our email list. We don't email super often. It's about like once a quarter at this point, but
not that bad.
So I like that because I don't like to get pummeled with emails in my inbox all the time. But we also try really hard to make the emails be filled with like really cool behind the scenes stuff and information and art that you wouldn't get on our social media or anywhere else. So we try to make it worth your while. And at Starside Comic, that's us.
And a good thing about Starside is as soon as you start putting the name in, they seem to pop up really quickly.
All right.
They are at 1997. Love saying that. 135 backers, 21 days to go, folks. Come, you guys got to support this thing. And of course, there's a catch-up tier, so you can actually catch up on all the stuff you missed so far.
Yes.
There you have it, folks. If you can't, or you know, it's not just a thing to do today because you don't got the money. Just share, just like I did here in the comment section.
Yes.
And I know a trick that makes the little address shorter. So there it goes.
Nice.
There you have it, folks.
Follow it.
Oh, definitely. All right, let me see. I got one thing to put up here. I worked on a movie recently for Rob Longo. It's a horror movie. It's called The Husband. And you guys really should check this out. It's a beautiful little horror movie. He's starting his own horror verse. And I had a lot of fun working on this, so you guys should have a lot of fun watching it. The Husband is on Indiegogo. They are at 4,216. They have 3 days to go. They're fully funded at 100%, $4,000. But folks, we all know making a movie is not cheap. So please keep helping them out. Keep getting that money over and over because I want to make another movie. I want to be selfish now. I enjoyed this. I want to make another movie.
What did you do on it, Ralph? What was your role?
Yeah.
I was the helper. I was the what do you call them?
Production assistant, everything.
Yeah, there you go. I'm the jack of all trades. I was a little bit of everything. Usually I help with camera work, but Rob is a pretty good cameraman and director, so he did all that stuff. I just helped him try to get this thing together, and he's already talking about the next movie coming up. So you guys, he's not kidding. If you guys help support this, The next movie is already on the burner, and it's back to the days of the monster studio. In other words, so they released the first monster, and the next story has another monster, and it's all set in this beautiful little town in New Jersey where he grew up, called Cedar Grove, because we all think that our little town's strange and creepy. I lived in Brooklyn. I still think Brooklyn is creepy.
Certainly strange.
Totally strange. Totally. So there you have it, folks. Go check out The Husband. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. You like your monster movies or your Monster of the Week movie or whatever you want to call it. It's really a callback to the old days of those beautiful Universal Monsters movies. Believe me, it's a lot of fun. And this little guy here on the screen right now is creepy. Really creepy.
Pretty spooky, yeah.
And the movie takes a turn that you may not see coming. Who's the real villain in this movie?
It's the director.
That's always a given. Director's always the makes you do things. Mr. Nat, what do we got? Anything else? Besides what you're showing on the screen back there? Nat has started this new little thing where if you're paying attention while we're doing the show, the screen back behind them shows off.
You're ruining the illusion.
Hey, I'm calling it. Somebody's already going, Ralph, I don't understand why Nat's screen is always changing. Because that's what happens when you deal with nerds.
I gotta go back and rewatch and keep my eye on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Like when I used to do my show recorded, I still do it. This is constantly changing for two reasons. One, I'll change it on purpose. Two, my daughter's over here and she's constantly moving things around. So, folks, I think that is everything. Anything else you guys want to say before we go?
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
And
read
support independent
comics
works,
and graphic novels. Yes, thank you so much. It was so awesome talking to y'all and meeting you, Naseed.
Yeah.
So great.
It was awesome to meet you.
Yeah.
It's always
I was gonna say.
Go ahead, Naseed.
I was going to say thank you for having us. The platforms like this is definitely needed for us to be able to get more awareness, meet great people who like yourself and others, and know about these phenomenal projects that's out there, man. So I thank you guys for having this platform. Thank you, Dylan, and for your work. Because Hollywood is starving right now. I mean, I understand the strike and everything else. I'm not taking away from that, but I'm just saying, as far as creativity and being able to add volume, to add something to that, because I do stand by the individuals who are fighting for, their rights and everything with regards to that. But as you know, I can have a conversation with my kid about movies and projects and everything, because they've been recycling everything from my childhood to their childhood, and everything. So,
definitely.
Yeah, maybe we're due for a renaissance.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are.
Yep.
We definitely are. I feel like the studios, and it's funny because the studios like to blame everybody else, but I feel like the studios have gotten to the point where we can crank this out and not have to be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the point?
That is apparent.
We can crank this out, not have to be creative, and make money. What do you mean you want to write? What do you think you are, right? All right, folks. Do yourself a favor. Check out Starside Comics and make sure to check out Naseed and PBS Media. They're doing some great stuff. Are you guys going to hit any conventions before we go that are coming up?
I'll be at Black Label Con in Philadelphia. I believe that's August 12th. I believe it is. Don't quote me on this. I got to look at my calendar.
No, it's August 12th.
But yeah.
And I only know that because I was talking to Peace, and Peace is like, Ralph, are you guys coming? I'm like, no, we're going to be at Geek Out at Staten Island.
Okay. Nice,
yeah, so
nice.
yeah, Geek Out at Staten Island is a blast. It's in Snug Harbor, folks. Go check it out. or go to, if you're in Philly area, go check out what Naseed just said.
Black Label Con. Yes,
There you go.
Black Label Con.
There are so many fun conventions happening. Go check them out, folks.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
stay
yeah,
home.
definitely.
Have
I mean,
fun.
and it's like the cons are awakening again. So you know, all of the cons that the whole circuit that I used to go to, now I'm trying to figure out that again because you know, some have emerged, some stopped, you know, doing their
Oh,
particular
definitely.
con and
We
everything.
lost
They
a lot of
moved their
them, gained
dates
some
and
new
stuff like
ones.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm really just trying to market again, you know, pre-COVID.
That's what everybody's doing. Everybody's like, come on, come back
But
to our con.
yeah.
All right, folks. This weekend, Izzy and I and Shadow Rabbit. Well, Shadow Rabbit will be there the whole weekend because he's tabling. And of course, the guys from Ace. So go to Terrificon. Enjoy Mohegan Sun. Enjoy the con. Have some fun. Take a road trip. You know, we all love road trips.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
with that, I'll do what I always do. I'll press the button